ADHD medication is the only way to reduce symptoms. Don't even bother trying any of those natural solutions. They won't work. Now that's what some doctors and even my son's doctor will tell parents. And I'm here today to set the record straight. There are other options. Parents don't have to use medication if it doesn't feel right for their child. Now, is there a time and place for medication? Absolutely. But is it the only way to reduce ADHD symptoms? That's a big, fat no. In fact, there are several studies that show that some of the more natural strategies are even more effective than medicine. That's right, even more effective than medicine. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Which is more effective, natural strategies or medicine? And more specifically, which natural strategies are proven to be the most effective in reducing ADHD symptoms? But before we go there, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Dana Kay, and I'm a board-certified holistic health and nutrition practitioner. I've been featured in Forbes, Authority Magazine, Thrive Global and Medium, and have been an expert guest on various ADHD parenting summits and events. I work with mums and dads all across the USA, helping them reduce their child's ADHD symptoms naturally. Now, I know I don't sound like I come from the USA, but I do live in Seattle, Washington with my 2 boys and my husband. Now, mums like Amber, who told me recently that she spent years arguing with doctors because they kept changing her daughter's medication and moving her from one pill to the next with no real help or explanation as to why the medication wasn't working like they wanted. For Amber, it wasn't medication that finally helped her daughter, it was nutrition. Amber said that her daughter's meltdowns, outbursts, and even her more scary psychotic episodes completely disappeared once Amber removed inflammatory foods from her daughter's diet. Medicine wasn't able to give her those results, but food did. That's because the science is clear. Food matters. And it doesn't just matter because it plays a huge role in the number on the bathroom scale. It matters because it affects every single aspect of our lives. Our weight, yes, but also our overall feelings of happiness, our behavior, our attention, our focus, our ability to manage our emotions, and even our handwriting, and just so much more. Today, I wanted to share some of that science with you. There are multiple studies out there that prove the correlation between gut health and behavior. But if I shared them all, we would literally be here all day. So I'm just going to share the one study that completely blew me away when I first found it. That study was conducted at the Autism Research Institute. Now, since 1967, the Autism Research Institute has been collecting data from over 27,000 parents, and it has looked at interventions such as amphetamine meds, antibiotics, antifungals, sleeping meds, SSRIs, certain vitamins and supplements, and different special diets. Now, it collated the responses and combined them into 3 categories. So the first categories were symptoms were made worse when using that intervention. The next category was symptoms had no change. And then the final one was symptoms were made better when using that intervention. Now, the better to worse column gives the number of children who got better compared to each child who got worse when using that intervention. And this better-worse ratio is what I wanted to highlight to you today. I'm going to pick a few common drugs used like SSRIs and Adderall. Now, first I wanted to discuss the impact of medication, or what I should really say is the lack of impact. Let's start with Adderall. It's a common prescription medication that doctors promise will be the solution to easing ADHD symptoms. Now, the Adderall ratio of parent responses on who got better and who got worse was 0.7 to 1. This means that 0.7 kids got better compared to 1 kid who got worse when using this medication. Crazy, right? More children got worse than actually got better when using that medication. How can this possibly be the solution? Now, some SSRIs had similar results. For every child that got better, there was another child who got worse. But stay tuned. What is really interesting about this study is the section that looks at nutrition and special diets. This is where real results started finally popping up. Let's start with parents who implemented a gluten-free and dairy-free diet. It has a ratio of 24-1. Crazy. For every 24 kids that got better on a gluten-free and dairy-free diet, only one kid got worse. Totally mind-blowing. Let's continue because it does get even better. Let's look at what happens when sugar gets removed from the child's diet. Are you ready for the ratio? Removed sugar, 27-1, meaning that 27 kids got better when sugar was taken out of their diet to every one kid that got worse. Now, between you and me, the kid that got worse was probably suffering from sugar withdrawals. Now, this research is shocking. The difference in the effectiveness between medication and dietary intervention is huge, and it clearly indicates that changing a child's diet will be more effective than popping a pill. This study shows that things like food that seem to have absolutely nothing to do with the brain can actually influence behavior, mood, and the mind. So the science is clear. Food does matter. Now, I hope you found this information today eye-opening and helpful, and I look forward to seeing you soon.